Hey, what is up guys? My name is Will. So today I'm going to be posting my betting predictions. There is quite a lot of matches to cover, so if you have a small inventory, I'll suggest to you which matches are safe and which are not. But going on what happened overnight, I decided to do a couple ICBs on face roll, which they lost. They got smashed by Kick.HU, and ICB on South Korea, and they lost I think 16-9 or 8. I think it was by a significant scoreline, and an ICB on Singapore, in which they lost as well. I decided to max on Kick.HU. I thought they would win fairly convincingly, and yet they did. Then I also bet low on eFrag. It's kind of a mid ICB. I did this because I thought they had the potential to upset, in which they did, and I won about 80 cents from that. And then I decided to bet about $2 on Dignitas to win $2 something in return, so that was pretty good as well. Then I bet low on CLG. I thought they had the potential to upset LG, Luminosity Gaming. They were up 6-1 on CT Southern Cash, and then the match got cancelled or postponed just because CLG have been having internet issues or something like that, so that's unfortunate. Then I put about $2 on Lunatic to win the $1.19 back, $1 something back. Yeah, Lunatic won 2-0, which I expected. So starting off with today's bets, we have a couple World Championships. I placed an ICB on Lithuania, just because their odds are really good. I don't expect them to win. I put 16 cents for $3 back, which would be pretty good reward if they somehow upset. I doubt they're going to, but yeah. So skip all of those. These aren't safe. Germany is probably safe, so is Ukraine, but the odds are really skewed and you won't get basically anything return. Next we have Epiphany versus CHRISJ. I think this is basically a 55-45 in favor of Epiphany. I think a bet on Epiphany should be relatively safe. Maybe max $1 if you have a small inventory. Maybe maximum $1 to $2 on Epiphany. If you don't have a big inventory, then I would skip. But I think Epiphany should win this 2-1 or 2-0. Next we have Nerd Rage versus ESC. I think it would be relatively safe to max on Nerd Rage. I don't think they're going to lose to ESC. So yeah, but you need a pretty big inventory if you want to do this bet. Next we have Mouz versus Titan. Both these teams are kind of inconsistent. You could max on Mouz if you want to win about $70 back, possibly more depending on how big your max is. I don't see Titan winning this, and the odds are pretty good for Mouz, but this is a very dangerous match. Not safe match if you don't have lots of skins. Next we have Property versus Reason. I went low on Property just because they are on a right team, and I believe that they can possibly upset or at least draw it out. So if you want to do a low bet, I would go low on Property here. Unfortunately I don't know LGB female team. I can't make a prediction on this, but I don't know the female team. This morning these odds were 80%, so I don't know whether that's just being sexist or something, but I assume they can't be that bad, especially against ESC. They're not a good, they're an alright team, I guess, but maybe low LGB depending on if you have some skins to chuck away. DNG versus Epsilon. I do not know what's happening with this match. This morning they had 80%, midday they had 45% against Epsilon, now they're back up to 80. I don't know what's happening. Honestly, these teams are both alright, I guess. Maybe low DNG. I don't think they're going to lose to Epsilon, but if you don't have a big inventory, then skip. I think this will be a relatively safe game if you have skins and you only have a small amount, then bet on DNG here. Volga, however you want to pronounce it, versus SK. I would go low on Volga here. I know they're a pretty crap team, but there's no point maxing on a team like SK where they could easily lose. Yeah. Infinity, don't know these teams here. I don't know if that's Aftermath or not, but I don't know those teams well enough to make a prediction. UX versus Public Clear. This morning Public Clear had 90% odds, and now they're up to 41. This is another match where the odds aren't that good. I'll probably go low on Public Clear here, just take advantage of the skew odds. This is probably 50-50 match, maybe 55-45 in favour of UX. So maybe low Public Clear here. This is probably the safest game of the day, or not the safest, but I don't think Fnatic's going to lose. But I definitely don't think Dignitas deserve 9% odds. I went low on Dignitas here. This is to qualify for this championship, so Fnatic aren't going to throw, so don't think that. If you have a big inventory, you can max on them. But yeah, Fnatic should win this, but no point betting. Vega, don't know Enzo, or I know Vega, but I don't know Enzo. Hellraisers versus Titan. It should be an interesting matchup. I think Titan are going to lose to Mouz. I think for some reason I'm feeling Titan can beat Hellraisers, but if their odds go above 55%, then I'm not going to bet on them. I'd prefer to bet on Hellraisers. So yeah, just skip this. Like if Titan lose to Mouz, then probably go low Titan. If their odds stay under 55%, if they go above, skip or bet on Hellraisers. 3S Up versus Luminosity Gaming. With these odds, I'm so tempted to bet on 3S Up. They're not a bad team, they're alright. Yeah, there's no point betting on Luminosity Gaming with these odds, especially how bad they look today against CLG. I don't know if Luminosity Gaming are playing from Brazil. They're a Brazilian team, so I don't know how it works. If they're gonna have really high ping, they might be in America. I'm not quite sure at the moment. Ace Gaming versus MILF. If you don't know what MILF stands for, it's not the derogatory term you think it is. It's man, I love fragging. This should be a pretty simple game for Ace Gaming. MILF didn't look too impressive against the team they played a couple of days ago. CLG versus COL. I think CLG are probably going to get DDoSed again, or CLG have been having internet issues. I wouldn't suggest betting on them in this game. They might have to cancel or forfeit or something like that. But yeah, that's my predictions for today. Just going over what skins I won. I won about overnight, maybe about $15. I requested them back into my returns. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next one. Thanks.